point that I looked at for the move to single pilot operations is that the basic capabilities and performance of the A220 should not be compromised. So for that, I've looked at that the aircraft needs to be maintaining a stable connection to the remote pilot wherever it is on the planet. And for that, we've chosen to use a satellite network with a ground-based radio as a backup, as well as that the pilot on the ground, or the remote first officer, needs to have the same instrumentation and the same controls as they would have in the actual aircraft, and that way the aircraft is still able to perform the high category, the category 1 ILS approaches or adverse weather conditions. The second point is that the safety mustn't be compromised, either during normal or emergency scenarios. So I've looked at that from the point of terrorism or hacking attacks, that the aircraft, the captain will have the ultimate say or the ultimate control in the aircraft. He'll have a button that he can take over control, and the first officer on the ground or the remote system cannot take control back from the aircraft in that instance. The final point that I've looked at is that there should be no change to the basic structure of the A220 for the fitting of the system. Our system's mostly a software system, so there's no need to have bulky mechanical, complex robotics or anything like that. It's already a fly-by-wire aircraft, so our system adds an additional computer that calculates what inputs or outputs needs to be made, and then applies that to the FMS. There'll be a software update to the FMS so that it knows how to handle these inputs and how to apply that to the aircraft. Any instrument data from the aircraft will then be calculated by the computer and sent to the remote pilot on the ground.
Okay, so furthermore, on safety standards that need to be upheld for a single pilot environment, especially in normal and anticipated emergencies, where stress levels are extremely high on a pilot, they are more likely to make errors due to this elevated stress and due to the fact there's nobody next to them that acts as a fail-safe mechanism. This is why airline companies will definitely have to implement a ground-based support pilot who can speak to the pilot during these stressful times, as well as take control of the aircraft if they need to do so. Also in emergencies, over the years, there's been many aircraft crashes due to things like hypoxia and depressurization failures, which has caused the pilots to become incapacitated and the aircraft basically running out of fuel and crashing. But if you think about it, it's pretty amazing. A lot of these could have been avoided if there was a ground-based pilot, because they would have not experienced the effects as the pilots did up in the sky. So they could have actually just taken control of the aircraft and brought it back safely for landing. And just furthermore on the support ground-based pilot, the control station they'll need is just a single man environment, and it'll have to display all the controls of the aircraft, and they'll also visually be able to see what the pilots see due to the cameras that have been installed inside and on the front of the aircraft.
The main thing we wanted to consider when designing single pilot cockpit design is to ensure that the pilot's workload is not overwhelming and their attention is not minimised. Otherwise, it would compromise the safety of the flight, obviously, which is the most. So the current A220 cockpit has 4 large displays. We condense that into 2 so their attention is more central and they don't have to look either side as often. And also we thought that due to companies like Google, as mentioned, are already implementing facial recognition and gestures in their smartphone technology, that this would be definitely feasible for an airline. In terms of training, obviously the companies would need to conduct more training in emergency situations, and obviously we think that a more frequent medical checkup would be required. The pilot's health is paramount, and with only one in the cockpit, you can't take that risk.